Welcome back to Control-Alt-Lead, the podcast from computing where we talk to IT leaders about what's moving in the market. Today I'm here with Rana Bhattacharya from Cynergy Bank, and we're going to be talking all about the use of technology in banking. So, Rana, thank you so much for joining me today on Control-Alt-Lead.
Thank you for having me.
So, the best place to start, I think, is about Cynergy Bank and your use of technology. Where did the bank come from, and how technologically focused are you?
Okay, I would say Cynergy Bank's a challenger bank, and we are a full service bank from the perspective of we have personal products and business SME products as well as business finance products as well. We've been established from 2018, and really our focus is to bring relationship back into banking, especially in the business SME market as well. With that is basically, we want to kind of leverage technology to actually amplify the relationship between our customers and the bank and really become what we call the human digital bank.
Okay. Now, in banking, it's quite important for customers to be able to reach you very easily. You've just launched a new mobile channel. Can you tell me about the build?
Sure. So we, obviously mobile banking has been around for a good while, but this is our first mobile offering. One of the things we want to do is basically create the strategic building blocks as a springboard to bring in other capabilities such as AI, etc., and put it in the hands of our customers. So as part of our build, we really try to get the insight as to, on a base level, what do our customers want, both for personal banking and for business banking. And we've got a roadmap where basically we're going to be, we are already incrementally adding functionality to actually put more self-service capability in the hands of our customers, which also from a business perspective allows our colleagues to actually focus on more higher value items for our customers as well.
Okay. Developing for mobile notoriously involves a lot of replicated effort. You're developing for iOS, Android, maybe other systems as well. Was that a problem for you?
Actually, when we took a step back in terms of actually what we wanted to achieve, we really kind of invested in evolving and defining an architecture that is lower cost and allows us to deploy a code base across multiple channels. So we're using a technology called Flutter that allows us to effectively build across iOS, Android, and web. So not only have we launched our new mobile offering, we're also replacing our existing online bank offering as well with effectively the same code stack. Obviously there'll be some differences based on the actual channel, but you've got a high level of reusability. So from a channel perspective, we're using Flutter, then we're using a common set of microservices behind that. So I would say the benefit of this architecture that we've defined allows us to get somewhere between 2 to 3 times more productive, both from a development perspective, but also from a testing perspective, because you're not testing 3 different sets. Obviously, as we launch different channels, you're testing each channel in isolation, but in the core of it, there is reusable testing happening to kind of minimize that cost and effort, and so you eventually get paced. I think where we've been a victim of our success, let's say, when you are kind of in a phase of launching, you've got kind of one path of delivery. When you're launched, you're going to be asked for multiple new features, and then you need to really invest in your kind of DevOps, that kind of release management strategy, so you can do multiple things and bring them together in a predictable, high-paced fashion.
Okay, and has this use of Flutter and the way you've approached developing this mobile channel, has that changed your cloud journey at all?
It's not the Flutter element, but the broader application stack. So I think a lot of organizations and banks historically have looked at cloud from a infrastructure hosting perspective, so infrastructure as a service. We've approached it more from a platform of a service as well. So not only is our application stack hosted on Google Cloud, which is our partner for cloud, we've also used their platform capabilities to build the application estate. So we're using things like AlloyDB, the PubSub functionality, etc. And again, what we found was basically, we're using these, highly scalable, highly resilient services from Google Cloud, to build our application stack. So we've got high uptime and high resiliency. So I think for us, it wasn't just about hosting. It was also about leveraging highly resilient, highly rich services from the cloud provider.
Okay. Now, a lot of very large, established banks, they're still running on their core banking services on mainframes. Is there a mainframe element to Cynergy Bank, or is it fully in the cloud?
No, so we've focused on currently our channels being on the cloud, so our new mobile offerings as well as our new online bank offering, which then integrates to a I-series based core banking platform. Now, because of our rich set of, call it product set and services, doing a core banking migration is quite a time consuming and costly approach. So in terms of benefit to customer in the short term, it was like, let's focus on our channels because we have the products today. In future, we might look at what we do about core banking, but right now our strategy is basically we integrate to our existing core banking platform.
Okay, and you mentioned Google Cloud. What was the decision between going with Google Cloud as opposed to any other provider?
I think for me, this is the second bank I'm building on Google Cloud. Now, the partnership between Cynergy and Google Cloud existed prior to my joining the bank. But in my previous life, when I built Atom Bank, effectively our decision, which I still support today at Cynergy, is basically we were looking for really a partner on our journey and not just someone to basically point us to a portal and say just buy services. And the support we get from Google allows us to accelerate and de-risk our journey as well from the expertise of their customer engineers. And we work with them on a regular. We have many meetings with them every week where basically we look at some of the problems we want to solve in the bank, be it AI or others, and we work with them to find solutions for our customers and colleagues.
Okay, we'll come back to the AI point in just a moment, but I wanted to ask you sort of more broadly about tech in banking. It's traditionally a very sort of personal, human-centered industry. Do you find that tech helps that or gets in the way?
I think tech used in the right way helps that. In the wrong way, obviously doesn't. I think you want to give people the ability for their everyday banking to do it when they want to do it, how they want to do it in some ways, right? So things like a mobile offering, an online bank works for that in terms of you want to kind of send a payment, you want to look at your transaction history, download your statements, that works quite well. But for your more complex need, you want to talk to a human being ultimately. Yeah, you might get some advice on the way to in terms of just getting support in terms of knowing the information about products, etc., from a technology perspective, be it AI or just going to a corporate website and understanding that. But when it comes to a large complex decision and maybe a complex deal structure for lending, you want to get support by a human being. And I think that's why we call ourselves a human digital bank, because we actually want to use the technology to amplify the relationship at the right point. So for our lending customers, what we are live with right now is the ability for our customers to actually reach into the diaries of our relationship managers and book a meeting that at a time and place that suits them. We also just went live with some functionality that allows you to kind of book a video call with your relationship manager as well at a time of your choosing. And behind the scenes, what we do, we have an AI agent that basically does a transcription and records actions to support the colleague to support the customer better. And part of this video call is all recorded away and archived to ensure that we are aligned to regulatory guidelines, etc. So rather than kind of forcing a customer to come to our head office or one of our regional sites, we are trying to make it easier for our customers to interact with a human being, which is amplified by technology, hence why we call ourselves a human digital bank.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about this AI side of things. You mentioned it a couple of times now, and then an AI agent as well. So we haven't seen many of them in the wild at this point, so it's great to hear that you're sort of investigating that. What does AI look like in banking today, specifically in Cynergy Bank, of course?
Okay, so our core items right now are under development, but we're looking to start launching them through September. We're not looking for AI to make decisions, but AI to provide our colleagues the ability to accelerate and get improvements. So supercharge a human, basically, yeah. And obviously we need to kind of balance trusting in AI too much as well. So we're looking at basically how do you potentially have multiple AIs looking at the same thing, so you have a more balanced view, and this will give you more confidence. But ultimately, the products we get out from any kind of AI output, we're not looking to just make a decision about without a human being actually overseeing that right now. Now, who knows, in the future things might change, right? But right now, from a bank policy perspective, we're looking to use AI to supercharge our colleague, to enhance them in terms of productivity, allow them to actually spend more time with the customer than actually focusing more time on basically look at writing paperwork, etc. We're looking to get AI to support that. And some of the things we're working on right now will allow us to effectively accelerate a number of our processes, or inputs into a number of our processes, to allow us to make more informed and balanced decisions. And in some ways as well, having an AI rather than a human in terms of doing, let's say, some of the research around valuations and all those sort of things, can sometimes be more robust as well, because in terms of reach into other online services to be incorporated to support the AI to kind of pull together a more robust and balanced summary as well.
Okay, so my final question for you then also relates to AI. Do you think for banking it represents a big disruption or an evolution, or more of an iteration to what's already there?
I think it's certainly a evolution. Some people might call it a revolution. I think AI becomes a new channel in some ways. You could basically use natural language queries to find out, your balance, your last number of transactions. So that it's that dynamic nature, and you could also have, I can imagine you could have AI guiding you to perform an action. So rather, in terms of how you navigate through, mobile offering or online bank, you could have AI just take you to somewhere to actually fill in some details, or the AI fills in the details for you. Yeah. I could also see in the business SME market, where in the past, larger organisations have insight from expensive accounting practices, etc., where basically AI can support smaller businesses with insight and knowledge to support them to grow ultimately. So I think it kind of unleashes a set of capability that historically might be more for larger organisations that have larger budgets, and over time AI will become commoditized, I believe, to kind of support smaller businesses in ways that they couldn't really imagine in the past.
All right, so we'll have online, in-person, mobile and AI banking. Really interesting future. Rana, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, thanks. Thanks for listening to this episode of Control Alt Lead. We've got plenty more fantastic guests coming up, and as my wife and I have just had a baby, both exciting and exhausting, my colleague Penny Horwood will be leading some of the upcoming episodes. So, new host, same brilliant content. Until then, you can always head over to computing.co.uk for more IT interviews, research and analysis. And if you're an IT leader with a story to tell like Rana's, please do get in touch at tomallen@thechannelcompany.com. Until next time.